There's no denying the fact that it's much harder to find work in the industry than it possibly has ever been in the past. However, there are opportunities out there, and in this video I'm going to go through how I would go about looking for work in this difficult climate and what skills you currently need. And at the end of the video I'll be using a practical example of someone looking for work and tell you exactly how I would advise them to move forward in the industry. Now you might be asking, well, what do I know? Well, if you don't know me, I'm Grant Abbott. I've been a freelance 3D artist for a long time now, but I have more of a teaching background. However, I do get to talk to a lot of industry professionals, so this is where I get most of my information these days. Also, as a teacher, I have students, mainly from my 3D artist program, that have recently found work as 3D artists. So yes, it is possible for entry-level artists to do this, to find work, but the strategy and the end goals are different today than what they maybe used to be. So my first piece of advice for someone trying to find work in the industry is to solve a problem. So let's start by imagining we're looking for work in a AAA studio. Now try not to get despondent whilst I'm telling you about this, but I'll talk more about indie studios in a moment, and maybe that will make more sense to most people out there. But if we look at AAA studios, gone are the days where they employ people that are artists and then teach them what they need to know or train them up. Studios now want instant solutions to their problems, so they don't want to spend time training someone. They want to bring someone in who is going to solve their problem that they have, and it might be making 5 characters in this amount of time or rigging this many characters in this amount of time. They want instant solutions, and they do not want to spend any extra money on training or take a risk on training someone and it might not work out. So as a person that is trying to solve this studio's problem of making these characters in a certain amount of time, you need to show that you have that skill, and you need to have that skill as well. You can't expect to go in with some of that skill and be trained for the rest. That's why most studios are asking for years of experience, even at entry level. All they actually want is proof that you can do the job and you are going to solve the problem that they have. So let's say you are a sculptor, you are just a 3D sculpture character artist, or maybe you do beasts and things like that as well. Well, firstly, you'll need to show that you are a great artist, so you'll have to have a killer portfolio. You need to know the tools inside out, and you have to show them that. You need really great detail in your work. You need a great understanding of things like anatomy, silhouette, being able to convey a story or emotions through your pieces. And all this has to be very evident in your portfolio. If you are a specialist like that, you need to be at the top of the game in terms of that specific skill. If you have no other skills like rigging or unwrapping and so forth, and you're just going for this very narrow band of employment. There's lots of people for these studios to choose from, so they're obviously going to choose the absolute best. So your portfolio would need to reflect that. If you're more a generalist, let's say, and you have all aspects, well, again, you need to show that. Show that you can solve the problem that they have. So you can model, you can unwrap, you can rig, you can export, you can animate, and maybe you can bring it into an engine and test it out. So make sure the movements are working and the deformation is working and the textures are all working. These are the problems that studios want to solve. They're looking for quick answers and cost-efficient answers, so they don't want to train people up doing those things. Yes, a bit of training in that particular studio's systems, but generally speaking, you need to have a good range of skills and to be able to show those skills clearly so that they know when they're taking a risk on you that you will deliver. So if you are looking for work in a high-end studio or AAA studio, then you will need to fill in the gaps of your knowledge where you see those gaps. Make sure that your portfolio is really clear and that the studio won't have to spend any money on you or train you. You can do the job that they're asking for. If you want to specialize in a certain area, then look at portfolios of industry professionals in that area and pitch them against yours. Are you at that level? Well, what are the gaps that you need to get to that level and work on those? If it's more broad and you have a gap, let's say in UV unwrapping or rigging or something like that, then you need to work on that and specialize in that for a little while, get those up to the standards so that you've got a nice rounded portfolio with all those skills that again can solve the studio's problem, and they don't have to spend money or extra money on training you. So we've mentioned solving a problem and make sure it's clear that you can solve the studio's problem. The next thing is solving the right problem. So you might have aspirations to go into a AAA gaming studio, but actually I would say that's probably not worth it now. It's an extremely difficult time for the big players in the industry. The top end of the games industry is struggling a fair bit. There's lots of layoffs at the moment. Money rules when it comes to big studios, and it's very likely they're going to try and adopt AI as soon as they possibly can so they don't have to employ as many workers. It's not going so well for them at the moment, but that is the truth of it. Lots of industries are looking at ways that AI can improve their workflow. So if you go for a AAA studio, as your career progresses, you'll be expected to pick up the use of AI more and more. So that's the reality of the big studios at the moment. But when I say solve the right problem, what I mean is maybe a smaller indie studio is the place to be right now. So can you solve problems for the smaller studios? Indie studios still need solutions, but they're usually less high-end and bespoke. So they don't need a sculptor character artist that doesn't know the rest of the workflow. They're usually looking for more of a generalist who understands the whole workflow of creating a character all the way from conception to inserting into the engine. So what sort of problems are you trying to solve for indie studios? Well, it's usually much wider in terms of the whole character process. So from start to finish, as in engine, so test it in engine so that they know that character works and they can insert it into their game. So your portfolio needs to reflect that and clearly show that you have all stages of production and you understand it and you have some experience of being able to do this, so that they know when they employ you, they don't have to train you or they don't have to spend any extra money on you. If you want to steer clear of AI, you're much better finding an indie studio that has that as their ethos, and there will be some because there's an audience out there that don't want AI products. So they will be catering for that audience. So if you are trying to steer clear of AI, then indie studios is a much better pathway for you. So you are solving a problem and you are solving the right problem, choosing the right people who you fit into, and all the time making it really clear about how you solve their problems with your portfolio and your experience, if you have any. But you might be saying, well, I don't have any experience. Well, that's where the third point comes in, which is making your own job. Indie studios are actually doing much better than the bigger studios at the moment, and there's lots of success in the indie scene. But it's not always easy to join an indie studio if you have no experience. Well, that's where you need to start your own studio, collaborate and find people online that you can join up with, work with as a team, and even if you don't make it, you will gain experience. Yes, this can be very time consuming. And yes, the success rates are small, but the experience is real. You will always have that experience and you could jump to a career in an indie studio with that experience. I would say that's my key piece of advice for anybody starting out in the industry at the moment. They want to find work. Well, you probably have to make your own job for now, collaborate with people, make a game, and then you've got the experience you need to springboard into an indie studio, or you might make a success of your collaboration and your own studio. But all these stages, even the collaboration stage, depend on having some sort of portfolio to show your skills. So that is all important. Let's quickly look at an example of someone's portfolio and see where they could improve it and move forward. So this was a portfolio sent to me by Anne Vito. Now, they've called this their digital sketchbook, and they just wanted to know whether they have enough skill to get into the industry. It's not necessarily their portfolio, but it kind of is at the moment. So obviously my first piece of advice is that you will need to make a more professional portfolio than this with your best pieces. But let's look at your skill level and what gaps you might have. So from a first glance, I can tell that you're a hobbyist and that you probably haven't been to art school. And that's not meant as a criticism. It's just that some of the disciplines I would expect from an art school aren't evident in this portfolio. And generally, art schools kind of frown on fan art. I don't have a problem with fan art, but in a portfolio, you need to show your own ideas really and how you can bring your own ideas to fruition. So I wouldn't place fan art within a portfolio. Having said that, some of your newer pieces show a bit more independence. Let's take this one, for example. So I'd probably include this in my portfolio if I were you, because it's one of your better pieces. But are you ready for the industry is the question. Well, the way you can answer that for yourself is to compare it to a portfolio of a professional who is in the industry. So the easiest way to do that is to go onto ArtStation, look at your specific area. So let's say sculpt, and we could put in creature or something like that if we wanted to. And then we can have a look through at something similar. Here's a dragon, a plaque dragon from Marlon R. Nunez. Nunez, and we can then compare this to what you've done. Now, this is a fantastic piece. It's got a bit more of a story because it's got an actual saddle on there, and that actually shows a fair bit of skill in hard surface modeling as well as the organic modeling. So it gives the studio confidence that you've got a wider area of skill within the sculpting. The forms are really nice, the silhouette works well, the renders look fantastic, all the detail is really excellent. You've got this really minute detail, the forms blend well together, the anatomy, even though it's a creature, seems to have function, and we can imagine this dragon actually existing and working. So it's a wonderful piece. Let's go back to our portfolio here, and we can see it's not quite as detailed. There's a few areas which I feel don't quite measure up. It is a great piece, and this person obviously has some skill, but the next level to work on is that fine detail in areas around the eyes and the face. There's certain patches which don't really make sense to me, like this big patch here, and it's got a scar in the middle, but it doesn't seem to link up to the other areas as well. I quite like these feet. They look great, but as it transforms into this area, it feels a bit blobby and almost like the anatomy doesn't quite work. I would want to go back to the reference images, see how lizards, crocodiles, and other animals that are similar work in these joints and transition spots. These areas around the arm, they don't feel like they flow correctly. There should be more of a crease in here, I feel like. And like I say, this is a great piece, but how do we go from this to this? And that's what you need to identify if you want to be just a sculptor. I would say at this level, you're certainly indie studio ready, and you could probably find work there, but we need our portfolio to be much wider in terms of unwrapping, baking out your textures, making it game ready or film ready if you wanted to go into an indie film studio for visual effects or something like that, but show the process and show that you understand those skills so you are solving the problems for that indie studio. So my advice to Anvito and other people in a similar position is if you want to work on the sculpting, then you need to look at professional portfolios, compare the differences and work on those gaps. The alternative is to go the indie studio route, but you'll need to show a wide range of skills broader than just the sculpting. Your sculpting is good enough for that, but you need to know rigging, unwrapping, baking, texturing, and so forth to prove that you can solve that studio's problems. The main route I would probably suggest now is to build your own studio, as it were, collaborate with other people, building something like a game or some other project. That way you will gain the experience you need to either step into an indie studio or maybe make a success of the studio you've just built with these collaborations. Either way, by the end of it, you will have a better portfolio that is more industry ready. Now, it's important to say that none of this is a magic bullet solution. Do this, get this at the end of it. It's still a very hard industry to get into. And the 3D art and games industry always has been a tough industry to step into. However, as I mentioned, I have students who are working in the industry at the moment, who have recently entered the industry. It's important to say that they worked very hard to get there, and they did have to kind of move out of their comfort zone in order to achieve their goals. But it is possible. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.